Hi, welcome to the Homicide Canada podcast. I'm here with my co-host and producer, Tami. This is episode 77. It's a special one where we're covering the murderer, Rogelio Bagabuyo. Different one than the ones we usually do, the monthly ones. So, podcast, if you've listened before. Basically, and I'll just say at the top, like I usually do, you can check out our website, homicidecanada.com. You can also check us out on social media, Twitter, homicide_Canada, and Instagram and Facebook. Just search Homicide Canada. All right. Let's get right into it. So today we'll be talking about a shocking case out of Kamloops, British Columbia, where a lawyer-client relationship unraveled into a calculated murder driven by stolen money, deception, and a plan that ultimately fell apart. This wasn't a crime of passion, it wasn't a misunderstanding or a sudden burst of anger. According to a BC Supreme Court judge, this was calculated and planned down to the smallest detail. In February 2026, former Kamloops divorce lawyer Rogelio Butch Dharamdas Bagabuyo was convicted of first-degree murder in the death of his client, Mohd Abdullah, and Mohd is spelled M-O-H-D, so I assume it's pronounced Mohd. The two men had a long history. Back in 2016, Abdullah hired Bagabuyo during his divorce and trusted him with more than $785,000. That was even more than inflation back then.
Yeah.
Money he wanted hidden from the settlement, I guess, with his wife. But instead of protecting it, Bagabuyo spent it. Within a couple of years, Abdullah's life savings were gone. So it's pretty sketchy already, like trying to hide the money from like the guy's wife and that.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's why the sketchy lawyer was his lawyer. As Abdullah started demanding answers, the excuses piled up. Prosecutors say that Bagabuyo even forged documents to delay him. By early 2022, the pressure was mounting, and that's when the plan began to take shape. And on March 1st, 2022, Bagabuyo sent an email scheduling a meeting at his office on March 11th. In the days leading up to that March 11th meeting, where Abdullah believed he was finally getting his money back, Bagabuyo began preparing. On March 1st, he went to Home Depot and bought a 45-gallon Husky storage tote, paying cash for that purchase and bought nothing else. And around the same time, security footage shows him at his home retrieving a square object from his shed along with 2 lengths of black rope, which he carried through the side gate before returning empty-handed. Shortly after that, the camera stopped recording. Bagabuyo returned twice more to Home Depot to make several additional purchases: a propane torch kit, plastic sheeting, 3 pairs of gloves, 2 packages of push pins, a torch, extension hose on the first visit, and then another tote identical to the one he purchased on March 1st during a second visit. So investigators later found a handwritten checklist in his home with chilling instructions, quote, bag everything, throw garbage out, don't bring phone and watch, turn GPS off, and close doors so not visible, referring to his Vic Street office.
Yeah, so it's kind of amazing, like he leaves this note behind, the handwritten checklist on
It
that.
seems like he wanted to be caught.
Yeah, it's like, you got to make more of an effort. Like, I guess at the Home Depot, he at least, paid in cash in that. I don't know. The one thing is, I think maybe with this Home Depot type stuff and that is that you should maybe go to a really far away Home Depot. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
All right. So continuing, that same day, Abdullah was seen walking towards his lawyer's office. Inside, prosecutors say he was attacked almost immediately, stabbed 10 times, and killed within a short window. Mr. Bagabuyo slashed Mr. Abdullah's face, stabbed him 2 times in the neck, 7 times in the chest, and once in the abdomen. What followed was a rapid cleanup. Within roughly 2 hours, Bagabuyo had wrapped the body in plastic, placed it in a tote, and removed it from the office. The sequence of events occurred from roughly 3:13 p.m. to 5:20 p.m. But the case against him didn't rely on a confession. It was built piece by piece. Investigators reconstructed the timeline using surveillance footage, receipts, GPS data, and dash cam recordings, creating a minute-by-minute account of what happened. That tight timeline ultimately dismantled the defense claim that the killing was spontaneous. So I guess here he was trying to, get manslaughter.
Yeah.
Basically.
It seems like it Well, considering everything that he bought beforehand. So then came the attempted cover-up. Bagabuyo left his office carrying 3.5 garbage bags and 1 tote to his car. The following day, investigators say he bought a new propane tank. Then on March 13th, he went to Princess Auto where he picked up a range of items, including a hacksaw with extra blades, a hatchet, a tarp, a paracord, multiple pairs of gloves, a cargo carrier with a hitch attachment. CCTV also captured him selecting other tools like a shovel, bolt cutters, but ultimately not purchasing them, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
The very next day, on March 14th, RCMP received a missing persons report for Abdullah. Once police learned that Bagabuyo was his lawyer, they contacted him directly. He told investigators that he had met recently and that Abdullah planned to return for another meeting on March 21st and that he himself was planning to travel out of town. Bagabuyo then convinced a friend whose name is Rochenbach, I think that's how you say it, to rent a cargo van, claiming that he needed to dispose of heavy items. Inside the van, garbage bags, tools, and totes containing Abdullah's body. Rachenbach drove the van back to his home, and then the two met up the following day to try to find a place to dispose of the items. They drove around as far as Cache Creek and Sun Peaks, but couldn't find a location. Eventually giving up for the day, they agreed to meet again later and try once more to find a different place.
So I guess is it assumed at this time that Rautenbach didn't know that?
Apparently he didn't even question it because they were good friends.
They're good friends. So
but still, I think if one of my friends had all this random stuff, I'd be like, what is it?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Why is it heavy?
If you call me up, Tami, and ask me to help you, like, move some stuff, I might be a little
garbage
curious.
bags, yeah.
And a tote and that, so I don't know.
It's weird.
All right. The plan might have succeeded until the grandson of Rautenbach became suspicious about the rented budget cargo van the lawyer asked his father to secure. Worried that something illegal might be inside, he went to check it himself. When he opened a storage tote in the back, he saw a human foot and immediately called police. So, yeah. That's going to kind of screw up your plan. According to the Cranbrook Townsman, I guess a newspaper, instead of arresting Bagabuyo immediately, police allowed the planned meeting with Rautenbach to go ahead without Rautenbach actually being there. Bagabuyo arrived at the agreed location and waited for several minutes, then drove past Rautenbach's residence before heading to a nearby Tim Hortons, where officers moved in and arrested him. When Bagabuyo was searched, officers found a small white plastic bag hidden inside his coat sleeve containing a number of documents. He claimed they were confidential client materials protected by solicitor-client privilege, so the files were first turned over to independent counsel for review before eventually being released to investigators. Those documents included materials tied to Abdullah, questions prepared for the March 11th meeting, copies of bank drafts dating back to 2016, emails arranging meetings, and various notes outlining Abdullah's concerns over time. From there, the evidence only grew stronger. In Bagabuyo's shed was found the decoy tote containing legal files but lacking the sheet of paper attached to its lid that indicated the contents were confidential. Also in the shed, and the more important piece of information, was a piece of wood which matched the handles of the garrote found wrapped around Abdullah's neck.
Yeah. After Bagabuyo's arrest, the cargo van was taken to an auto shop and subjected to a detailed 2-day forensic examination where investigators carefully documented every layer of its contents. Inside, they found partially melted garbage bags filled with clothing, gloves, traces of what appeared to be blood, a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and sheets of plastic stained with blood. One bag contained a kitchen utility knife with blood on it, and another held a towel bearing Bagabuyo's name on the tag. Investigators also noted that the package of push pins, one of which had been found at the office and the other inside the van, though there was no clear evidence showing that they were actually used. In fact, Justice Kathleen Kerr pointed out the lack of physical proof linking them to any kind of stage setup in the office. I guess they were trying to call it like a kill room, like Dexter style or whatever, noting there were no push pin holes in the walls or the plastic sheeting that would support that theory. And ultimately, the court found that while the materials suggested preparation and cleanup, they did not support the more extreme claims about how the scene was staged.
So I guess basically they're saying that with the push pins, they was like to set up the plastic sheeting in that. To
Yeah.
So.
But who knows what those push pins
Yeah.
were actually for.
Okay. So in her ruling, Justice Kathleen Kerr pointed to the preparation, the timing, and the absence of any defensive injuries as clear indications of intent. She rejected the idea of a sudden confrontation, describing the defense's argument as relying on far too many coincidences. So basically, yeah, I guess the thing is like there's a lot of evidence here.
Yeah.
And if you're like the defense lawyer, you're basically like, yeah, if you get manslaughter, that's so much less time. Like we've talked about this in the podcast a lot. Like if you get first degree murder, 25 years without parole versus like manslaughter getting 8 years with potentially pretty early parole. It's a huge difference. So.
Yeah, and this seems like it was calculated.
Yeah. And interesting too that he goes with a judge-only trial. It seems so.
Yeah, I wonder, is that his choice? Or?
I think it's the defense's choice. So.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess instead the judge saw a complete picture of a deliberate, calculated murder. Bagabuyo has now been sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years for the first-degree murder. So what began as a professional relationship ended in betrayal, financial ruin, and a carefully planned killing that ultimately unraveled. So, yeah, it's amazing. Like I don't know if we heard. I don't think I've heard of a case in Canada where, the lawyer kills the client.
No, no. We've heard of cases where the client kills the lawyer.
Okay.
That happened in Toronto not too many years ago, but still, we've never heard of the opposite.
Yeah. But basically, like Bagabuyo, I guess, takes this guy $785,000 to like hide from the divorce settlement, and then I guess spends it, and then
Panics.
Obviously he can't pay it back, and then I guess he makes the choice to murder the guy instead. So
super weird.
It's a pretty weird case in that. So all right.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time or next podcast, check us out on our website, homicidecanada.com, Instagram, search Homicide Canada, and then Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, homicide_Canada. And also you can email us at info@homicidecanada.com.